Welcome to this installment of Creative Cabin Fever. On this evening's installment, we have Iron Mountain Metal Festival organizer. He's going to hit us with some exclusive stuff. So I'm really excited to chat to this guy and get to know what makes him creative in this Cabin Fever time, as well as what's in the plans for 2021. So, introduce yourself, Philip.
I'm Philip Keaveney. I'm the director of Iron Mountain Metal Festival.
And for people at home who don't really know what the festival is about, do you want to talk to us about what it's like, what it feels like?
Well, it's on a site that's been in operation. This would have been its sixth year, and it's fully established. It's built up. The stages are there all year round. It's just a really nice, happy place. It's not literally on top of a mountain, but it's up very high. There's no big high roads or anything, but it's up a very, very secluded area. You can see lakes, sheep, mountains. It's just a really, really beautiful location. You go up there and it's just party zone for a weekend. And it's supposed to be 4 events happening up there this year. Unfortunately, they're all called off now. But it's just a really happy place. There's like campfires lit, low lighting, camping, obviously, BYOB, 2 stages. Just a place to go. It's small, like many smaller independent Irish festivals. Like I'd say Knockanstockan back in the day. Knockanstockan was gone now, unfortunately, but that got big. But it's kind of like the formation of that small event with Irish bands and just everyone involved hanging around all weekend. Basically, by the end of the weekend, you'd know half the site. If you didn't, you didn't talk to people, basically.
That sounds really beautiful. I love the idea of a small metal festival, where there's metal bands of all genres, and even you have it a bit more mixed up as well. There's different types of genres coming for 2021 because I looked at the prospective lineup and it's really interesting. So that's perfect. It's really nice to have small independent festivals as well, and your pricing is incredibly fair from what I can tell. So it's like €60 for the ticket. That's a really, really great deal.
Especially now with the incoming problems people are going to have with finances. We were 65 for what would have been this year. And because we just priced, we're going to have a few less bands. We had 40 last time planned, but we'll have 35 on the next one. So we opened up 10 more weekend passes. So as a result of opening up the 10 passes, we were like, we can drop it down to €5 to make it more affordable for people. And bring your own beers cheap. So you could potentially do the whole weekend buying the ticket for about €100. So it's priced for everyone, which is going to be very important now, future climate in this country.
Absolutely. That's really good forward thinking, and it's really good for you to look at it that way. It's a smart business move, if you ask me. So just to get to know you better as a person, I was wondering how life has been for you since lockdown started.
Well, the first couple of weeks were strange, just because like for everyone, but it's normal life, to be honest now. No, I'm just finding ways to keep myself occupied all through every day. Like I started growing tomato plants and strawberry plants. My garden is going to be the best it's ever been because I've all this time, just working on my website, getting the Burning Metal, establishing the Burning Metal records. The Iron Mountain Metal Festival is back in planning again, and we're all creating stuff for that and making up plans. So we're all just keeping ourselves busy and as sane as possible, basically.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the positive way to look at things. I'm doing the same. I'm actually currently in my garden that I just did up doing the interviews because the lighting is just better than inside my house, which is so dark. So yeah, I've had a great time doing my garden myself. And I think a lot of people are enjoying the extra time,
Yeah, a lot of people, like a few friends of mine, like they have young kids, and it's like almost like they're getting to know their families properly because it wasn't their fault. They're just working all the time, and then they'll be wrecked in the evening and the weekends. They try and do something, and like it's very positive for a lot of people. Some people it might be tough, but I suppose you just kind of have to try and take the positives out of it, and hopefully just try and do the best things you can do, and just know that someday it's all going to pass and it's not going to be forever. That's the most important thing, I think, personally, anyway.
I'd agree. Life really is what you make of it. And obviously, as someone who's part of like a group of people who organize a festival, how did the idea come about? How did you guys all kind of merge forces and go, let's metal?
Well, I went to another festival up there on the mountain called Gothic Species. I was there all weekend, myself and a friend of mine. I fell in love with the place, and on the final day, I found out that they actually let other events run there. And I really, this place is perfect. The stages are all built, the infrastructure is there. It's literally a matter of just going in and setting up in basic terms. Like it's ready to go. Then I got talking to them, and we went up and we had a meeting, and we organised the festival date. And I was just sitting outside work one day, just on the bench waiting to get in, and I was trying to think of a name, and it was like, it's in the Iron Mountain Metal Fest. It just kind of just came together. It's like, it's in the Iron Mountain, so there you go, like perfect name for it. And then I just started contacting bands and put the lineup together. And as throughout the process, more and more people became involved. There was a few of us at the start, but near the end, there was about 50. And that's growing all the time. More people that are coming on board, so there'll be a core crew of 20 for the next one. So it'll be much better ran, and everyone will be able to do more jobs, and won't be as kind of manic. There's 20 people. You don't have to be in two places at once.
Yeah, it's really hard when you're organizing events, like the amount of multitasking you have to do. So it's definitely super important to have a trusty crew behind you.
Oh God, yeah. God, yeah. If you didn't have a crew behind you that knew what you were doing, you'd be mad to even attempt it. Never mind think about it. You really need the right people for the right roles.
So, like, a question I like to ask people a lot, Philip, is usually, what was the first song you fell in love with? Because I think it's your gateway drug into the rock and roll industry. But in this case, I guess we'll just do it by type. So what was the first metal song you fell in love with?
Well, I wouldn't would you classify them as metal as such, but it probably would have been around Guns N' Roses would have been my kind of gateway to the whole metal thing. Like I remember back in 1991, Terminator 2 was released, and we went to see that in the cinema, a group of us. And of course, Guns N' Roses were featured heavily, and it's kind of then bands like Rage Against the Machine came along, and then I started moving to bands like Pantera, Sepultura, Biohazard, Obituary, Testament. Guns N' Roses was kind of the gateway as such, I would say.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I suppose a lot of people would feel that way. For me personally, it was Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots. My dad used to play Black Sabbath all the time. He's obsessed, like, so from a very young age, I would have been about 3 or 4, was just like, I love this.
Would have been more Johnny Cash and Jim Reeves in my house now, and radio music now. There was no real metal stuff or heavy rock played at all now.
A lot of people are finding that they're listening to a lot of more music lately, Philip. Are you finding the same? Do you have a particular captivity jam that you're really listening to a lot more than the rest of the music at the moment? Or is there anything that you just discovered that you didn't actually have a chance to discover prior to captivity?
Well, I'd always kind of be discovering stuff because of Burning Metal. Like I think I'd say we have at least 50 sources that send us on emails all the time. So like one country I've been kind of delving into recently is Finland. Like it gets sent on these videos, like, and there'd be a band with 150 likes. Next thing, it's this video, and it'd be like something at the Gates type quality, video production, everything. Like it wouldn't, like, no disrespect to Irish bands, but small Irish bands launching like that generally wouldn't have that level. Like the Finns just seem to. It's like the metal capital of Europe as it's known. I don't want to sound like I'm disrespectful to any other countries, but the Finns just seem to just shoot out straight away. Big sound, big production, professionally made music video, and here we are.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like Nordic metal is a very strong, powerful thing. Like a lot of bands that are like really up and coming do come from there, and they do put a heck of a lot of work in there. It's almost like it's in their blood, like fire in their blood that creates that music. And that's a perfectly beautiful thing. They're not scared to be themselves. They don't even mind that they're using like English, which I suppose is a different tongue. But in Finland, a lot of people speak both languages. They do. It's kind of how they grow up. Like I know a lot of Finnish people myself, so but they do also have a beautiful language. Like Finnish is gorgeous. It's one of the most complicated languages to learn, actually. And like it's just a really beautiful clackety clack singy song type language. And I've been listening to a lot of Finnish music myself, and not all of it's actually been metal. Like there's this really cool band that I've been listening to, they're Finnish hip hop. They're unbelievable, and they rap in Finnish. It's so cool because you're hearing a different language and a different tone, and it just even adds something so beautiful to the music. I love discovering like music in different languages. Personally, it's like one of my happy places.
Mm-hmm. Like there's a really good Indian metal band I discovered there recently. Like they mix like traditional Indian music with metal, and they rap in their own language as well too. It's pretty cool actually.
What's their name?
Oh, I can't remember their name now. I'm no
Send it to me later.
I will. I find all this stuff and I have it all somewhere, but I'm very bad with all the names because I could get 50 press releases in a day. So
I
when
know,
you get
yeah.
that many press releases coming in, you're checking out stuff all the time. And even today, I found a band from Sweden, two-piece band. Excellent, absolutely brilliant. Again, I don't know their name off the top of my head, but it's a constant thing. So
But always feel free to send me music because I love discovering new music. It's kind of like just a little piece of paradise. Like send me music, I'll listen to all of it and I'll see where I get lost and I'll see where I end up. It's just the perfect gift is really sharing music with other people. So
have you
another
actually,
question.
have you checked out the Enigma division yet?
No.
The Enigma division, they're a new Irish project. Like how to basically describe it, if there was a metal song in Blade Runner, that's what it would sound like.
Okay, that
Yeah,
sounds amazing.
it's
Yeah.
Conor McGoran and Ben Wanders, and can't remember that lad's name, but Conor was in Zerat and Ben has been in Sharkborn and loads of other bands. So they are really, really, really good musicians. And apparently this album is going to be absolutely spectacular. They've only released one single so far, but I can imagine it's an album of the year contender when it comes out.
Well, I'll definitely listen to that straight after we get off the interview. In fact, I'm actually super excited to go listen to that now. So thanks so much for sharing it. One of the things I'm asking people now a lot lately is what's the first thing you plan on doing when you leave lockdown?
Probably meet up with a few friends. Let's go to the pub, have a pint. Feel like some sort of normality is back. I'm not going on a big mass session or anything, just a few of us just go up to a beer garden someday. And basically, a lot of my friends don't live in Roscommon anyway, so it's not really that different for me. Most of my friends live in Galway and Dublin and all over the place. I kind of, what I say, I have friends around here, but most of them now have been married, kids and stuff, so we didn't see each other anyway, because when you get into your 40s, that life it's tough for a lot of people to have spare time. But to be honest, my life won't really change much after lockdown. Just maybe the ability to meet a few people for a pint, that'll be about the height of it.
Yeah, that's brilliant as well, because a lot of people aren't finding lockdown difficult because they've gotten so used to their own company in the past. So those people are blessed, really. You've been training for this your whole life. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm like, I'm going to drink 18 cups of coffee and smoke a whole pouch of cigarettes in the sun, hug everyone, I know, run up and down the road.
Well, you can run up and down the road and do the coffee and cigarettes thing now if you want anyway.
I'm very specific about my coffee, and my coffee joint is currently closed, so my heart is half broken.
All right. I'd be more of a Kenko person myself. But I try not to drink coffee anyway. It doesn't really suit me. I forget a bit. I suffer from anxiety. It's not bad, but if I drink too much coffee, not a good idea.
So, with regards to 2021, was there anything you wanted to discuss today about that?
Well, unfortunately, I can't say who they are now because we have to go up and have a proper meeting and iron out all the details. Iron out that. But all right, I got lost my train of thought there now. But they're a highly professional group, and they've been running gigs and promoting gigs and all sorts years and years now. But they're going to take over the second stage, so there'll be a separate company coming in to run the second stage. It's a formality. They want to do it. We want to do it. They're going to fit. The personalities are going to fit. Everything is going to fit. It's going to be perfect. But it's just we have to go up, have a good chat, and make everything efficient. Something like that you can't do over the internet. You have to kind of go up and meet as a group and trash it all out. But that'll be a big thing then, because there'll be two professional groups running each stage. Obviously, both stages were going to run professional, but now I'll be able to know that one set of team was running one stage, and their crew is running the other stage. So they'll have their own stage managers, sound, and everything else. So it'll just make life for everyone easier when you know. And with a few less bands been involved, there'll be less pressure on the crew as well. It won't be all this kind of spread out. So that's first bit of news. And we have our first headliner confirmed for 2021. And it's going to be The Crawling from Belfast. They're coming back to headline on Saturday night. So that's great to have them back again. Crawling are fantastic. So I asked them when the cancellation came in, would you like to do it again next year? And they said, well, we'll let you know. And they got back to me there and said, yeah, we're in for it. So I was like, delighted. So there's a bit of news for you now. First headliner at The Crawling.
That's amazing. And thanks so much for sharing it with us first. And that way we can share it with everyone. With regards to obviously the organization right now, it is actually very difficult. You're right. I hadn't thought about that, because you guys can't all meet up and kind of vibe off each other or get each other's reads. So that must be quite complex. Are you doing everything over Zoom, or are you just doing like group chats on WhatsApp, or how are you going about that? Because it's great that you're even moving forward. Very few people have done that yet. But how are you managing?
I just contact them by a messenger or I ring them or whatever. And individually, we're not really talking at the moment. I mean, as a group, we're not talking at the moment, because we're all doing everyone doing their own things. Like as of now, I know we have 5 benches already made. There's a design for an overhead lighting rig, because the site doesn't have an awful lot of light. People that have been there before know this. So we've created an overhead lighting system. So it'll make the place a lot easier to navigate. Because before this whole lockdown kicked in, like, there was a big warehouse here in town, absolutely full of stuff, from mannequins to religious statues, tables to benches, to you name it, it was in there. And thankfully, we got in on the Friday, got 5 vandals out of it before the lockdown started on Monday. So we were lucky in that regard. So lads are all making stuff individually. The bench is made, the lighting system, the urinal system has been designed, the lighting, as I said, the fire sculptures. We're just making plans and working away. And then when the time comes in July, we'll start bringing stuff up and planning everything out, and just have a chat as a group. But we're all on the same page anyway, so there'll be no problem there. We're all happy to do this and want to do this. And I think a few of the lads now at the moment, it's probably one of the few things that kind of keeping them staying, to know that we actually have this to look forward to again. At the moment, there's a lot to look forward to, really, in regards to music and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's great having something to look forward to. It's great knowing that there's this event that's coming and it's not the way it was supposed to be planned, but we're still going to go ahead with it, and we're going to have extra time to make it extra special. And then we're giving you these extra tickets, and we're going to work extra hard to get there. We're all hanging in there. So we all know that, yeah, this is not the best time, but there's a future, there's a possibility now, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And thanks so much for giving that to everyone so quickly, because people do need that. And it's great that you guys are organizing something like this, because Ireland definitely needs more metal. It's a very hard to access thing, unless you're in Cork. I think Cork has a pretty heavy metal scene from what I can tell, but like other parts of the country, it's not quite so prominent. So it's great to have a festival dedicated to that in what sounds like a beautiful area, and at such a great price. Like, I couldn't understand why people wouldn't go. If you're into metal, I would definitely urge you to buy the tickets, so well done. Was there anything you wanted to add to the...
Already.
Sorry?
There's actually tickets sold already.
That's amazing.
It's not tickets. I think it's 6 or 7 or whatever, but people are actually started buying it already. So they're like, they're probably holding them, but I know it's so far in the future, and it's so cheap. They're probably thinking, well, this is going to be a good option, because overseas.
Absolutely. And it's something that people get to look forward to. So you're right. Of course, people are chomping at the bit already. So well done. So before I let you go back to your garden and your life, is there anything you want to add to the interview?
Not particularly, no. Just Cat.
That's my boy. That's
Oh,
Braggy.
yeah, I think Vancouver's cat is asleep in there on the bed as usual. But not particularly. No, just if you don't know, Burning Metal is a thing. Burning Metal IRL, Burning Metal Records is launched as well. We've one client so far, Deck Wait. Their debut EP of Poet Traders out now, so check that out. You intro and just follow the metal festival, and hopefully buy a ticket and come along and know it's going to be a really solid event. And we've got some great bands lined up. We haven't all yet, but it's going to be a great mixture of bands. It's going to be a nice weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a bit bittersweet now this weekend because the weather is fantastic.
I know.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been perfect weather for it, the sun, especially up there on the mountain when the clear skies and no nothing, just very clean, fresh, warm air, nice air. It would have been fantastic. Fortunately, what can we do? Not a thing.
This time next year, it'll also be fantastic. And you're right, the Death Can't Wait definitely needs a mention because it's a fantastic EP. I've been really enjoying it myself. So I would recommend everyone to listen to it. And anyone who's watched this interview and has enjoyed me talking to Phil, there's loads of Creative Cabin Fever interviews available on the Viking Promotions YouTube page. And on our Facebook page, you can follow us for any more developments. I think this is interview 36 now, so we're doing quite well. And there's loads of different characters, and that's kind of the beauty of this. There's different people each and every single time. So Phil, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to stop recording, so just say goodbye to everyone.
All right, thanks very much. Hope you all have a good weekend and all the rest, and enjoy the rest of your lockdown. Or try to anyway.